going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that's making headlines and has massive implications for all of us, whether you follow international politics or not. We're talking about the US peace strategy for Gaza and how it could completely reshape global energy markets and international trade. It sounds complicated, but trust me, we're going to break it down piece by piece. This isn't just about a single conflict. It's about a web of connections that links the Middle East to your wallet, the gas pump, and the products you buy every day. So, let's start with the big picture. The ongoing conflict in Gaza has sent shockwaves through the Middle East, a region that is, as you know, the heart of global energy production. The United States has been intensely involved in diplomatic efforts, pushing for a ceasefire and a long-term peace plan. But here's the crucial part. The success or failure of this strategy does not just determine the future of Gaza and Israel. It holds the key to stability across the entire region, and that stability is directly tied to the flow of oil and gas to the rest of the world. Let's talk about the choke points. You've probably heard of the Suez Canal and the Strait of Hormuz. These are narrow waterways through which a huge percentage of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas, or LNG, travels. Any disruption here, whether from direct attacks or increased military presence, can cause a major bottleneck. When the Houthis in Yemen began targeting ships in the Red Sea, we saw a preview of this. Shipping costs skyrocketed as vessels were forced to take a much longer, more expensive route around Africa. That extra cost doesn't just disappear. It gets passed down the line, eventually showing up as higher prices for fuel and consumer goods. A broader regional conflict, which could be sparked if peace talks fail, would make the Red Sea disruptions look like a minor inconvenience. The Strait of Hormuz is even more critical. If that choke point is threatened, we could see a massive global energy crisis almost overnight. This brings us to the energy markets themselves. Right now, the market is on a knife's edge. Oil prices are incredibly sensitive to news from the Middle East. Every rumor of an escalation or a potential breakthrough in negotiations causes prices to jump or fall. Investors hate uncertainty, and this conflict is creating a mountain of it. A successful US-led peace deal would inject a massive dose of stability into the region. It would calm the nerves of traders, likely leading to lower and more stable oil prices. For you and me, that means relief at the pump. It means lower heating bills. It means businesses can plan for the future with more confidence, which is good for jobs and the economy as a whole. Conversely, if the diplomacy fails and the conflict spreads, involving major oil producers like Iran or Saudi Arabia, we could see a repeat of the 1970s oil shocks, with prices soaring to record highs and triggering a global recession. But it's not just about oil. The global trade system is also incredibly vulnerable. Think about it. So much of what we buy, from electronics to clothes to cars, is made in Asia and shipped to Europe and North America. A huge portion of that trade flows through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. The current disruptions are already forcing companies to rethink their supply chains. We're talking about delays of weeks, not days. This means empty shelves, higher prices for imported goods, and a logistical nightmare for businesses. A prolonged conflict would accelerate this shift. Companies might start moving production closer to home, a process called nearshoring, or diversifying their shipping routes. This would be a fundamental reordering of global trade that has been in place for decades. It could mean some goods become more expensive or harder to find, while potentially creating new manufacturing jobs in other regions, like Mexico or Eastern Europe. The US peace strategy is, in essence, a high-stakes gamble to preserve the current globalized trade system. Now let's zoom in on the key players. The United States is obviously central, using its diplomatic and economic power to broker a deal. But they can't do it alone. Regional powers like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Qatar are playing crucial roles as mediators. Their interests are complex. On one hand, they want regional stability to protect their own economies. On the other, they have their own political goals and rivalries. For example, Saudi Arabia was on a path to normalizing relations with Israel before the conflict began, a move that would have had huge economic benefits. A peace deal could put that process back on track, creating a powerful, new economic bloc in the Middle East. Then there's Iran, a major supporter of various groups in the region. Its response to any peace deal is a massive wildcard. A deal that isolates Iran could provoke a backlash, while a deal that includes them could be seen as a major diplomatic victory but might be unacceptable to others. The success of the US strategy depends on navigating this incredibly complex web of relationships. So what are the possible scenarios moving forward? Let's look at the best case outcome first. A durable ceasefire is reached, followed by a comprehensive peace agreement. This would likely involve a two-state solution, significant international aid for rebuilding Gaza, and security guarantees for both sides. For the global economy, this would be a huge win. Energy prices would stabilize and likely fall. Global shipping lanes would reopen, easing supply chain pressures. Investor confidence would return, boosting markets worldwide. This is the future the US is pushing for. Now for the worst-case scenario. The peace talks collapse completely. The fighting intensifies and crucially spreads to other parts of the region. This could involve direct conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon, or even a direct confrontation involving Iran. In this scenario, the Strait of Hormuz could be closed. Global oil supplies would be drastically cut. Prices would skyrocket, plunging the world into a severe economic crisis. Global trade would be thrown into chaos, leading to widespread shortages and inflation. This is the nightmare scenario that diplomats are working around the clock to prevent. Of course, there's also a middle ground, which is where we might be heading. This is a scenario of prolonged instability. A fragile truce might be in place, but the underlying issues remain unresolved. We might see periodic flare-ups of violence. The Red Sea shipping crisis could become a semi-permanent feature of global trade. Energy prices would remain volatile, constantly reacting to the latest news and threats. In this muddle-through scenario, the global economy wouldn't collapse, but it would be burdened by higher costs, persistent uncertainty, and the constant risk of a major escalation. Businesses and consumers would have to adapt to a new normal of higher inflation and less predictable supply chains. So what does this all mean for us? For the average person watching this video? It means the diplomatic negotiations happening thousands of miles away have a direct impact on your daily life. The price you pay for gas, the availability of products at your local store, and even the health of your retirement savings are all connected to the outcome of this crisis. A successful peace strategy isn't just about geopolitics. It's about economic security for everyone. It's a powerful reminder of how interconnected our world has become. The quest for peace in Gaza is also a quest for stability in the global economy. As we watch this story unfold, we're not just passive observers, we're stakeholders. This is a developing situation, and we'll be keeping a close eye on it. The decisions made in the coming weeks and months will have repercussions for years to come. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but understanding the stakes is the first step. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive. If you found this analysis helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that breaks down the big global stories. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think is the most likely outcome? I'll see you in the next video.